Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today I'm telling you 5 reasons to read Six Crimson Cranes. This is a very exciting video for me because I read this little bad boy and fell in love so hard. I needed to make a video telling everyone to read it. Because of the light and what it's doing, you probably can't see, but I tried to like match my aesthetic to the book and I think it's pretty cute. It's so bright and so illustrious that it's taking away the light from me, but it's okay. If you don't know, in this 5 reasons to read series, I give you 5 reasons to read a book, but that's more like 5 unique cool things about the book that if you enjoy that kind of thing in books, then you'll probably enjoy this book. Not necessarily, yes, you need to read this book, although yes, you need to read this book, so I don't know. Either way, it kind of works. Six Crimson Cranes, this is an impossible title. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim is a retelling of Six Swans by Brothers Grimm, which is an old fairy tale. And in this one, it's told from, well, the author is Chinese American, so it's told more in like an Asian inspired world. But the basic premise is that we follow Shiori, who's a princess. She's the daughter of the emperor, the only daughter, the youngest daughter, and she has 6 brothers. And she lives in this world, in this kingdom where they eradicated magic because they had problems with demons. So in order to get rid of demons, they got rid of magic. And if you have magic, you're going to be exiled. And one day she finds out that she has magic and meets a shape-shifting dragon who teaches her a little bit of magic. But one day she finds out that her stepmother is a demon, and she tells her brother, and the stepmother, in order to like not let her secret get out, turns the brothers into cranes, and she puts this ball on Shiori's head, and basically this ball like blocks her magic as well as makes it impossible for her to talk, because if she utters a sound at all, her brothers will die. So each sound is one brother dead. So she's like, okay, I gotta keep quiet. I watched the Six Swans like adaptation when I was younger, so I was familiar with the story, but I reread it just before this because I was like, is it inspired? And it's like so accurate. Not in a bad way, like clearly it was inspired but made entirely its own. The book is basically about Shiori trying to break this curse and free her brothers from being cranes. I was like a bit nervous. I'm gonna put it away so the lighting is okay. I was a bit nervous going into this book because I read the author's other book, which was Spin the Dawn, and really didn't like it. I thought it was a bit of a mess in terms of how it was structured. The first bit was really good, really what was promised, which was Mulan retelling with Project Runway, and then the second half just lost its way. But one thing I noticed was the amazing illustrious writing. So I was like, okay, if this author comes out with another book, I'm gonna give it a shot, but I'm buying an ebook. So I got the ebook, I started reading, I was like, I'm gonna love this book. I was literally like a chapter in and I was like, I am going to love this book. So I bought a physical copy so I could finish reading it that way. Without further ado, let's just get into the 5 reasons I think you should read Six Crimson Cranes, because if you enjoy these things, this book has it. It delivers. Reason number 1 was feeling of whimsy and fairy tale. So this book is literally a fairy tale come to life, brought to pages, just like fleshed out so much. And I know it's a retelling, so it kind of comes with the territory, but like not every retelling does such a good job, and not every retelling wants to keep being a fairy tale. Sometimes it's just like the inspiration. But this book is just so whimsical and weird, and the characters, the magic, all of it just completely works. So I really loved that fact, and I really loved how there was like a ship-shifting dragon and all the magic was weird, and this girl just walking around with a ball on her head, which bizarre. And I really enjoyed how that was just so fleshed out and the world was magical. And like, I don't know, if you see this aesthetic, I feel like this aesthetic is 100% recreated in the book, in the world. The book can be a bit dark at times, the main character goes through a lot, but like this beautiful aesthetic, which we all loved, and this book is just gorgeous. This aesthetic is shown in the world and it's reflected in its whimsy and its beauty. And I absolutely, that's the first thing that I fell in love with. It's just the dragon came on and he was just this boy and super mischievous, and I was just so into it and I loved it, how weird it was. I love that it stayed weird. There's a paper bird that's our best friend. It's just weird, whimsical, wonderful fairy tale. Number 2 would be the beautiful writing style. So I already said that when I read Spin the Dawn, that's the one thing that stood out to me. I was like, this book has this amazing writing style. The way the author could like bring textures to life. I don't really care about fashion. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't really care about fashion or like designing or whatever, but the way the author just brought textures and textiles and colors to life just took my breath away. So I knew the author could write, but I didn't know if she could, you know, deliver with the plot. But this one had both. So this one, like I said, had amazing writing, and I really think that was a big part of why the world worked, why the whimsy worked, why the characters worked. The writing is just so beautiful, you can really get lost in it and just swept up, and it just felt like a fairy tale because the writing was so beautiful. Number 3 would be a very complex world and history. So I just really loved finding out more about this lore. It's definitely not like shoved down your throat. It's not a lot of exposition. It's very slowly you come to understand what the world's about, where the mythology is, how it all works. But it was just so beautiful and slow and moving. And yeah, the whimsy, again, it just all comes through to how fairy tale-esque it is, but it just has way more lore behind it. I do think there were some aspects where I was really a little bit confused about the politics and how this world worked, but I do think that that didn't bother me as much because every time we found out something new, it was so cool. And yeah, just the lore with the dragons, with magic, with demons, all of that, super interesting. We learned what we needed to learn enough to get by, and I really enjoyed that aspect. It was wonderful. So number 4 would be a great character development. So when we meet Shiori, she is this spoiled princess. She's maybe not unlikable, but she's definitely not like someone you would really pine for or like really make her your avatar or whatever. Like, she felt really a bit contrived. She felt really proud. She was really like kind of empty-headed, and you can still see the sparks of what she would become, like how stubborn she was, how she wanted to find her own way, all of that. It was still there, but you definitely start with her being a little bit of a brat, which is often the case with these like princesses, but this was really on purpose. And this whole story, first and foremost, is Shiori growing up and becoming a better person. And yeah, she had to go through a lot of crap in order to get there, and it was probably a little bit unfair. But I really loved how the author managed to put her through terrible experiences, but let her learn from it, develop from it, grow and reflect. And I really like how she was like, oh, I used to be like this way, I used to think like that, what a terrible person I was. But the way she grew up, it just totally makes sense that she would think that. She was the youngest, the spoiled, the apple in her father's eye, is that how you say it? It would make sense that she become like this. But through growing and meeting new characters, through needing to sacrifice so much and go through so much, she just developed such strength of character, and I really loved seeing it, and I really ended up really loving and really rooting for her in the end, because I think the way her character develops is just unparalleled. That was really amazing. I think other characters don't get as much development, but like I said, it's her story. It's about her growing and changing. The others are just like tools to achieve that. But that doesn't mean I didn't like them. I really loved Kiki, our paper bird that the main character made out of magic. I loved the love interest. I really loved him. I thought that was super heartwarming. I really loved the dragon. I didn't love the brothers, but maybe because they kind of were cranes for 90% of the time, and they also like merged into one because there was like 6 of them. And the stepmother is a very important character, and I loved how she was done, and she had layers and all of that. So I think all of it was quite interesting, and there was some intrigue there as well. So all of the characters worked really well for me, but Shiori's story is just amazing. And my reason number 5 was cinnamon roll main love interest. So if you like a soft boy, a sweet boy, a supportive boy, I mean, go and read this book. I think there's gonna be a love triangle. I mean, there's already a little bit of it and we can kind of see it happening, but this book was definitely focused more on Takan, who's the love interest, like him being the love interest, and he didn't even come into the book till like a little bit into it. It didn't become important, but I really loved what they did with him. He was just so sweet, so supportive. Oh my god, he was just the cutest. I absolutely loved him. So I don't know, I really love him, but like at first I was so team dragon. Like the dragon's like a teenage boy, so it's not that weird, but it's a little weird because the time in the dragon world passes differently, and I'm super excited to see where the book 2 comes because I think we're gonna have more of a love triangle. But yeah, the main love interest was just so cute. If you love like a cute soft boy, go read it. So those were the 5 reasons to read Six Crimson Cranes. I mean, okay, it's not an official reason, but like the cover. I mean, the cover is the reason I was like, I'm definitely giving this offer another chance, because if I can own this book, that'd be beautiful. I don't have any special editions or whatever, but I do have pretty, what do you call this? The spine. The spine is pretty. But yeah, I think the offer, honestly, like, give a raise to whoever designs your UK covers, because the US ones were nice too, but the UK just fall into this soft pinkish pastel aesthetic that I feel like a lot of people love, so they'll buy the book even just for the aesthetic. So yeah, the cover is beautiful. I mean, once you like see all the symbols and like what's happening and like all this like places from the book, it's just, oh, I love this book so much. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I don't even know if I mentioned. I am so excited for the duology. It's just the kind of story that really will stick with me, because rarely do I see or rarely do I care about a character's development as much as I did Shiori. I think it's just the way she grew up and what she went through. It was really heartbreaking and I was really touched. I didn't cry, but I felt a bit moved, a little bit teary-eyed at some of the parts, so I just couldn't put it down. I was reading it, it had break at work, it took me a couple days, but that's because I had so much going on. But yeah, this book, absolute freaking gem. Go read it, go buy it, buy the ebook, buy the audiobook, buy the physical copy, because we all know there's gonna be shortage, whatever. Just, I think you should totally check it out if you love Asian inspired world, if you love whimsy, strong characters, fairy tales. It just, I cannot think of a better book for you. And the writing, absolutely beautiful. Not entirely purple, but very emotive, very, very beautiful. So I gave you a task, go do it, go read Six Crimson Cranes. I absolutely loved it. I was really, really surprised at how much I did, because again, this shows why you should give authors a second chance, because one book is not equal to another, one story is not equal to another, and authors also grow and learn and improve, so they always deserve a second chance. But that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you like of my aesthetic. I tried real hard. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you could comment, like, and subscribe, I'd really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!